Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first episode of the DevCircle podcast. So, our first discussion for the year is going to be from Clinton, from Code with Clinton. For those of you who are in YouTube, I believe you're familiar with him. And just in case you're learning from him for the first time, I'm going to give him an opportunity to be able to introduce himself. So, Clinton, the floor is yours. You are going to introduce yourself to the audience before we can actually proceed. So, Clinton.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brian, for the opportunity. Thank you. Good morning to everybody. It's good morning where I am in Nigeria. It's morning currently. So my name is Clinton Machiko. I am Nigerian and I am a software developer. I write Django and React. So I also have a YouTube channel where I teach coding. The channel is called Code with Clinton. So I teach coding on there. So that's it about me. I write React, write Django, and teach coding online. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, thank you, Clinton. Now, Clinton, I just want you to share with us maybe your learning journey, your creator journey. How did you start learning? How did you end up learning Django? And how did you narrow it to Django and React alone when we know that there are a lot of frameworks that you as a developer can use as a tool to be able to build? So tell us about your learning and creator journey.
Okay, so my journey started back in 2020. I was during the pandemic, during COVID. Um, we were sent home from school because of the pandemic. And then when we got home, we were all stuck at home. There was no movement. You get so instead of being idle, I came across the word coding. I did some research about it, and I kind of looked the idea of having to write some line on your computer and then transforms to a website. I was so curious about that. So I was like, how is that possible? So I stopped learning how to code back then. I picked up HTML, picked up CSS. It was looking so interesting. Then I left some JavaScript. You get so after I got comfortable with JavaScript, I wanted to pick Node.js back then. But back then, there was also Deno. It was coming out at that time. It came out at 2020. And on YouTube, you see a lot of persons saying Deno is going to replace Node. Node is dead. Deno is coming for Node. So I was confused. I was thinking, if I go for Node.js, it might get replaced in a few years' time. And I was also thinking that if I go for Deno, Deno is still a new platform. It does not have that backing yet. So I was just confused at that time. So then I had to now decide to go for a different I have to now decide to go to a different language altogether. I have to now pick Python for my backend. And with Python, we have Flask then and Django. And after I did my research, I realized that Django is a much more popular framework than Flask. That's why I chose Django back then. Until today, I still write Django. You get so I write Django for my backend. Before I write Django for everything, both for the backend and the front end, using the MVC framework. You get, but in these modern times, we have to separate them. Django is meant to run the backend, and to complement my skills, I have to go learn some front end. I already knew JavaScript before, so I have to just go learn React to complement my Django skills. So I'll be able to build full stack app all by myself. So that's how my journey started from HTML to CSS, JavaScript, learned some Python, picked up Django, learned React, and currently I'm here building MVPs for startups. Thank you.
Okay, that was quite a journey. When did you start learning? Was it in college? Were you a computer science student, or did you just pick it something that you are doing on the side apart from your main course? You know, there are people who switch careers. Maybe somebody was in medical and then all of a sudden they switch into software engineering. So how did yours get to come? Were you a software engineering student, a computer science student, or how did that come about, the learning process?
Okay. I studied, okay, currently I'm done with school and I studied computer science back in school. You get, so one of the reasons why I picked up coding, one of the reasons why I got serious with it because of I studied computer science in school, and as a student of computer science, you need to know how to code. It's one of the expectations people are going to have of you. You need to know how to write some codes. If you're not into coding, maybe you need to know some designs, UI, UI. So you need to be a techie. You don't need to just go to uni. I said computer science in school, and I don't know how to do any of this tech stuff. So
Yeah.
that's one of my motivation. You get. As a
Oh,
computer science student, I need to know how to code. You get. So that's it.
okay. I hear you. That is so. I'm happy to hear that your journey kind of resonates to mine. And now to the third thing, when teaching Django, what are some of the concepts that you find that beginners struggle with the most when learning Django from your experience? Some of the features that mostly beginners struggle with when learning Django, to be specific.
Okay, with Django, what I've noticed is asynchronous activities. Now that I've noticed beginners struggle the most. You get, so something like using WebSockets, it's using WebSocket or channels, Django channels. A lot of beginners struggle with that. I struggle with that a lot of time. Get, most time I always had issues with WebSocket back then.
Yeah.
But currently, those issues are I've come up, I'm now above those issues. And I've conquered those issues again because with the help of AI, ChatGPT, I'm able to ask it to help me explain this concept to me, like as though I'm 7 years old. Again. So through the help of AI and ChatGPT, I've got to understand this concept, and yeah, I'm comfortable with them now. So that was it.
Okay, so right now, the way that they can overcome them is just to utilize these large language models, not just to copy code, but to ask them question and get in-depth
Yes.
understanding of the problem. Okay, that is. I think that is going to be valuable for the audience. You can always utilize the large language models. Did you have mentors on your learning journey, or how was it? Did you have somebody who helped you navigate the process, or did you just go solo in your learning journey?
I've got some friends. I've got some friends on my side who I learn from. Who like whenever I'm confused, I ask them questions, and then people who know better than I am, I have them. You get.
Yeah.
So and then I ask them, and they put me through one or two ways. You get. So I've got some friends around me.
Yeah.
I think one of them. I've got a friend that is above, that's up there. You get that's some step ahead of me. So
Okay.
whenever I get confused, I go to him, but I don't think it's mandatory you have a mentor. You can always scale through if you want to. I was just opportunity to ask someone that I can ask questions, and then but without I'm just trying to encourage the viewers. If you don't have, you can still do it yourself, but it might just take you a longer time. But if you do have, just do well to make good use of the opportunity you have by asking them questions, and then you'll be good.
Okay, it is always important to have like a mentor. As long as we have this resource, it's also important to be able to have a mentor, somebody who is above you in terms of skills when in your learning journey.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, just based from your experience, somebody who has been learning web development in quite a long time. As somebody who has that
sure.
experience, so what separates a tutorial level developer, somebody who can build like production grade applications?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is I'm saying that everybody out there, every pro, every top developer you see out there, they all studied the tutorial. They didn't start by themselves. They all went out there, went to YouTube, look up a tutorial, and then they learned some things you get. But what separated them from the from the tutorial level devs is that they challenged themselves to do things on their own. Okay, I've watched a tutorial, I've learned some concepts, so go and use that concept to build something on your own. That's what distinguishes a real developer from a tutorial level developer. You get, so you have to go and challenge yourself. Let's say you watch a video on how to build an e-commerce site on YouTube. you've gained some knowledge, you've learned some concepts. So what you have to do now to improve yourself, so go and build a different system, maybe a school management system. It's what you've learned. Go and try building something different with what you've learned. And whenever you face issues, you don't just go. Whenever you face issues, try and use tools like Stack Overflow, because that way you get to know why that issue occurred and you get to see how it was solved. But in today's world now, whenever there's an issue, we use ChatGPT, it gives us the solution, just copy and paste. You don't even know why it's saying this is the problem. But back then, 2022, 2021, 2020, there was no AI. So we had to go solve the problem the hard way. And that process has made us who we are today, has made us better developers. Because we can solve issues on our own. You get, but now with AI can make things better. It can explain why the issue occurred, and then you get to know why it occurred and you fix your issue. You get, but what I have to say, for you to become a top developer out there, challenge yourself. Watch the video, yes, watch it. When you watch the video, go and try something on your own. Don't don't go and repeat the same thing you saw in the video. No, do something different. It's what you've learned in the tutorial you've watched. You get. So that's what I have to say.
Okay, okay. So that is important. The goal is not to learn. The goal is to learn something and then build. Right. So Clinton. So as somebody who has been consistently posting videos, you told us all the way from 2022. So can you share with our listeners some of the lessons that you've learned from consistently posting content on YouTube, and some of the lessons that you wish you knew before? Because we have a lot of developers who want to share their content, who want to share their knowledge, who want to share their experience, but they don't have the consistency, or maybe they have the consistency, but they're still struggling, or maybe they're just afraid to go outside there. So can you just share your experience on some of the lessons that you wish you knew in early enough when you were starting your content creation journey as a developer?
Okay, as for me, when you start posting, it's going to be very difficult, be very hard, because most times you'll feel discouraged when you post a video on YouTube and you're getting 5 views for 1 month. After a month, you're just seeing 10 views on your videos after putting in much work. It's gonna look very difficult to get. You feel is this thing is not working, it's not paying off. You get, but you have to just push through. You have to enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy the process, you'll give up quickly. You understand? Because back then, when I started posting, for like 3 months, I had only 5 subscribers for over 3 months. I remember, and those subscribers, I know them myself, my brother,
Yeah, your family maybe. Yeah.
three of my classmates, three of my friends, three of my classmates back in uni.
Yeah.
So I know all my subscribers back then. It was discouraging. I stopped posting. I was like, this is not going anywhere. Imagine posting a content of about 1 hour, a 1 hour video on YouTube, and you're only having like 10 views after like 3 weeks.
Yeah, that can be.
Just I'll watch a video time and time again, and those you get the views are coming from just me, you get. So
Yeah, yeah, the.
it's just kind of difficult. But one thing I can say, enjoy the process. Don't have any expectation.
Yeah.
Just do what you're doing. Keep posting without any expectations. So what brought me back was this. So I stopped. So when I stopped,
Oh.
I then went to learning. I just went to just keep on learning on my own without posting. When I learned something new in JavaScript, yeah, and then I found it so interesting. I then decided to make a video about it and post on YouTube. So yeah, I already stopped posting, but I then learned something new in JavaScript. I said, "What is interesting? Let me just make a video of this and post." So after posting that in about 10 hours later, someone commented for the first time on my video
Yeah.
that they love this thing I did, that they learned something new from what I just posted. So the next day, someone else commented again. So I got some new comments on my video for the first time from people I don't know. So it's
Oh,
also from that point, it took off. I was not like, wow, if
yeah.
I could help someone out there I didn't even know about. So I just said from that point, I just kept on going. I kept on posting. Again, so just that thing was a motivation to me to keep posting. I don't know I don't know who I'm helping out there to solve their problems. Again, so
Yeah.
I mean, all I have to say to you, just enjoy the process without any expectation. And before you know it, and be consistent. Be consistent. Even if it is once per week,
Yeah.
just be consistent and enjoy the process. Thank you.
Okay, okay. I'm happy to hear that. So for anybody who is struggling, maybe who is afraid or maybe who is struggling in terms of subs, now you have to be consistent no matter how the views you've heard from Clinton's story. So don't be afraid from that. I think you just need to keep on going and love the process is the word. So if you don't love the process, I think even it's the consistency is not going to be there. So just love whatever you're doing. Just use it as a way of learning, then you also enjoy the process. So, what is your advice for somebody who is feeling overwhelmed in their learning journey, especially in the 1 to 6 months of learning for somebody who's just beginning the learning journey? So, what is your advice for somebody who might be feeling overwhelmed?
So what I have to say is this now, if you're feeling overwhelmed, it means that you're learning so much. When you learn something, you don't have to just learn it on a marathon. You learn, you stop, you build, you learn a particular concept, you go and integrate what you've learned into a project. Don't just go and read it, you don't just go and read the documentation all through. No. You watch a video. After watching the video, you implement something. If you're watching a 4 hour video, you watch like the first 30 minutes of the video or the first 1 hour. After you watch the first 1 hour of the video, you go and integrate what you've learned into a project. You don't just learn on a marathon. You learn, you pause, great. That way you don't get burnt out. That way it becomes interesting because you are actually putting what you've learned to work. You get. So that's what I have to say.
Oh, okay. So, we should always have like a system when you're learning, not just to go and consume YouTube content or maybe just read the entire documentation. I think it also has something to be with setting some goals and creating a system when you want to learn, not just I want to learn web development or I want to learn Django this month or maybe this year. Is to have some systems of how you're going to learn it and whatever you want to achieve with your learning. Okay, so Clinton, as we wrap up the session, I just want to give you an opportunity here to maybe tell the audience where they can find you, where they can find your work, okay? Or maybe is there anything that you're working on that they should expect? And maybe if you have some paid courses on Udemy, or maybe if you have a community, a private community where your audience can find your work, apart from the YouTube content that you're sharing, where can they find you, your social platforms, and any other private communities that you do have for your members?
Okay, for me currently I'm on YouTube as Code Cleansing. If you're into Django, into coding, backend stuff, React, just go and subscribe because this year I have a whole lot planned out this year for YouTube. So just subscribe because you're going to have a huge value for your time. You get so, and also on LinkedIn, I am called Clinton Machiko on LinkedIn. And then on X, which is formerly called Twitter, my name is Code with Clinton on X. So those are three places you can find me. YouTube, Code with Clinton, X, also Code with Clinton on X, and on LinkedIn, I'm called Clinton Machiko. That's my full name. Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Okay, thank you, Clinton. Thank you for setting up your time today to be able to come to the podcast. I really appreciate that. Yeah,
All
so
right.
that is it for our conversation today. And for our listeners, this conversation is going to be on Spotify at the DevCircle podcast. You can check it on Spotify as well as on YouTube. We're going to have this conversation posted in those two platforms. So make sure you follow us on Spotify as well as YouTube at my channel, that is Brian Oginga, and at YouTube, that is at Code with Clinton.
you.
So yeah. Okay, thank you, Clinton, for having the time with us.